You should be watching it back, mate.
I'm all over it, Tim.
Every one of those groomsmen are absolutely sickened that they didn't get the best man gig tonight. Just have a look at them, especially Oberg. He's filthy.
Clearly.
Adam's first impressions of Mandy was actually... There's a serious party table over here, wasn't there?
It's because Nicky Oberg's there.
A
Couple of loose wives over there.
Adam's first impressions of Mandy were that she was smoking hot. And that her amazing looks were balanced by her fun personality and big smile. Ladies and gentlemen, despite what the groomsmen think, Adam is the perfect guy to fill this role this evening. A lovely bloke with a successful career and a great mate to those who know him. There's no better man to be the best man. Ladies and gentlemen, the best man.
Chris Ryan, killing it, absolutely killing it. That is debatable. Oh, stop it, Rhino, stop it. Stop it, Rhino.
Speak into the microphone.
Yeah, before we get started, where's this going to work out here? This level? Everyone here?
Yeah.
Okay, well, hang on, still no good.
Bit lower, lower.
Yeah?
No, lower. No, lower.
We won't finish if you don't let me get on it, so... Righto. Look, first, look, I do have quite a lengthy speech here. I'll paraphrase myself at times. But,
Don't crack yourself up! Oh, shit! I don't get it.
But, yeah, let me get into it. So, look, first, just let me say it was a really lovely ceremony today. I think it was very well done. Mandy and Clint, I think, did a great job with the additional support of everyone else, hopefully holding the microphone. And I would like to congratulate Russ and Pat, Mel and Chris, Deborah and John on the beautiful day. Thank you for hosting us today. As is customary, I would like to first offer a toast to the bridesmaids. So if you can charge your glasses, please.
Yes!
Mel and Mel. Well done, girls. Chris, well done.
And I'll also offer, obviously, I think a toast for Mandy. You look absolutely sensational today. Beautiful bride.
Well done, Mandy.
And Clint, I'm normally the better looking cousin, but today you can have that one chin.
No Botox.
No Botox. Okay, let me read from my speech a little bit. It is a very special honour for me to be here today as the best man. Obviously, because it's Clint's wedding day, that's important to me, but also because I do know how strong his relationships are with the other guys at the table here. Sorry, give me a second. And well, look, other than that, it's just a great opportunity. Thanks, buddy. So, but look, now as you can imagine, being cousins, I've known Clint for a very long time, and my first impressions of Clint were I didn't like him.
Boom!
Remember 4 years old.
Boom!
Madonna, beat him up.
Yeah.
But no, I grew up on the Sunshine Coast, Clint in Brisbane, and most of the time that we spent together as kids was when he'd come up to Noosa and visit us on the holidays. And we used to hang out a lot and we used to play, and I looked up to him like any sort of younger brother might look up to their elder sibling. I am younger. He was great fun to be around. He had a foul mouth, which I thought was alright. And whenever he came to visit on the holidays, Uncle Russ made sure he had heaps of dough on him. Some things never change, Uncle Russ.
No 5s and 10s.
No 5s and 10s.
But look, one of my earliest memories of Clint was when I used to visit him at Boonville every now and then, and I was down at Pym Street one time. Pym Street, Boonville, that's right. Yeah. And,
Pym Street.
We're at the front of the house and we want to ride our skateboards around on the car park, on the driveway, and we're waiting for some people to move some cars. And Clint's going, oh, this is ridiculous. He storms off inside and he comes out with the keys to Russ's latest Fairmont gear or Fairlane or whatever it is. And he says to me, get in. And I'm going, what are we doing, Clint? You listen to the radio or something? Naive country cousin. And he says, and I get in the car, and he says to me, he sort of shakes his head in that trademark way, and he goes, just shut up, alright? I know what I'm doing. You can get out if you want. And I said, alright, no worries. And so then he reverses, like 10 years old, he's about 10 years old, I think, arm up on the seat, reversing, up the cul-de-sac, drives it up, does a couple of loops to show me how good a driver he is. And then he just parks the car sort of neatly out of the way, and we go and have a good time on our skateboards.
It's so true as well, it's so true.
Now, 10 years old. Now the brief epilogue to that story is that that same skateboard, epilogue comes at the end of the story, and is that same skateboard Clint left under my mum's car.
Spectron!
Yeah, and I ran it over one day because he's a smart chap. He just left the skateboard under the car. But look, that's not the reason I like that story. There's some sentiment to this. There's a couple of reasons why I like that particular story about one of the kids. One is that it demonstrates his love of cars, and everyone who knows Clint knows he loves cars. I think it's a love affair that's been there for a long time, from the time he was a young pup. And there's been many vehicles, some more waterlogged than others, that have...
Oh, yes!
Have gone through his hands, but none more famous, I think, than the Sporty Cordy.
The Cortina! Madonna!
And the souped up XL Madonna, that's correct. Yes.
The Cordy.
But look, no, the best part, I think, of this story is just that it does demonstrate a few key traits. One is that it does demonstrate his impatience to get things done in life. He never stands around idle. He always is an action man. Two, I think it demonstrates his ability to remove obstacles, whatever they are, cars from driveways. Three, his determination and resolve to make things happen in his life and never to stand back and let things happen around him. And I think these are traits that you obviously develop from a very young age, mate, and they've seen you do very well in your career, and I think it'll bring you a lot of future success as well.
Thank you. Oh, jail time.
There's a touch more. And we're talking to Clint's family this week. There are a few stories that they wanted to ensure were told, including the fact he was a chronic thumb sucker.
Do it. 33 years old.
But also the fact that he sleeps, talks, and sleepwalks, and still does. And Mandy has often told me of the numerous occasions he's got up in the middle of the night and just wandered over and turned the light on. And he's standing in the doorway going, "What are you doing?" And she says, "Come back to bed," and he does. But I think my favourite story about Clint's sleepwalking is a story our grandma Pat, now departed, used to tell of how he stayed over one night at her house, and she woke up the next morning looking for him, and she couldn't find him anywhere. She searched for him frantically through the house, and she probably called his parents at some point, and she started to get very worried. Where is this guy? And then she's sitting in the kitchen, and he just wanders in and goes, "Oh, hey Grandma, what's for breakfast?" And she's just going, "Where have you been?" And as it turns out, middle of the night, he walked out of his room, down the stairs, into the rumpus room, and hopped under a beanbag.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. A good sleepwalker. Now, as many of you know, Clint went to Nudgee College for a good part of his high school. And it dawned on me when we were there for the rehearsal this week that it's been about 13 years, Madonna, you can correct me if I'm right or wrong, since the last time I was there, which was for your wedding. That same day was actually, in fact, the first time that Clint and I had seen each other in maybe 5 or 6 years, since we were kids. Because Clint moved to Hungary in about '92 for a few years. And we lost touch for a period there. But we hit it off at Madonna's wedding, and we moved into an apartment together, and Timmy and Clint and I lived together for a period there as well. And over the sort of subsequent 13 years, it's been an extremely, incredibly rewarding experience to be his mate over that time. We've shared a lot of good times together. Some tough times here and there, but a lot of good times with a lot of other people in this room as well. Many parties, many late nights, a few arguments, but mostly just great experiences. And one of the striking things about Clint, when you're his mate is that you just have to accept that you're not going to be the only one. He has a lot of good mates, and I think and he has a lot of circles of friends as well, so not just mates. And I think that is perhaps the reason why he has so many nicknames and aliases as well. Most people seem to get through life with maybe 1 or 2 nicknames. Clint has about 6 by my count. I thought I might just run through them just for a second. He's mouse to his immediate family. I suspect because he's as small as one and a pest.
Pest.
Then for a while there he was Ralph, or Big Ralph, because of his penchant for Ralph Lauren polo shirts. A penchant so large that he would quite bizarrely try to woo the ladies with, "Do you have any idea how much this wardrobe is worth?"
True. Absolutely true.
Maybe he has a very good idea how much that wardrobe is worth.
Admiral's quarters.
He's greyhound to some of his mates at Nudgy. To a lot of us he's Sneak, because at some point in the night when you're out on the booze, he'll sneak off, never to be seen again. He's Cuffs to many of his work colleagues for his penchant for cufflinks, and also he likes to be called the Director. But we won't get into why. No, we won't get into that. You can ask me later.
I'm the director. As a photographer.
Irrespective of his many names, he has always been my best mate, and we've been there for each other all the time. I think, as I mentioned, I'm also very fortunate to be great mates with a lot of Clint's mates as well, which is a very good thing. And I think the fact that many of the people here tonight were also at his 21st, some, 12, 13 years ago, just speaks to the fact that he's able to develop such strong and rewarding friendships with people. And I want to just reflect on Clint's 21st for a second. This speech is going to go too much longer. Thinking about his 21st, I remember it pretty well for a number of reasons. Partly because...
I look so good.
Yeah, you look so good. But partly because Timmy O here offered up an impressive account of Clint's dirty laundry at that particular party. And anyone who was there knows all the stories that came out. You heard some of them tonight, being thrown in the locker, and also taking the sporty cordy down to the Nudgy rugby fields and doing donuts on your last day of high school. I think I was there as well. But what I remember most was that after Clint had been sensationally sledged, his dad, Russ, Uncle Russ, got up and gave a really great speech to ensure that people left the party with a good sense of what a great bloke he is. And now, look, in my experience, anyone who knows Clint has perhaps 1, 2, or many stories about the absurd, hilarious, and often obnoxious things you've done in your life. And they are always an incredible source of entertainment. As a group, we're often laughing our asses off at your antics. But as Russ pointed out, at your 21st, when you strip it all back, you are a great bloke with an incredibly big heart. Over the past 13 years, I've seen time and time again exactly what Russ was talking about. You do have a big heart, and I think sometimes your concern for others trumps your concern for yourself, sometimes to your detriment, I think. You've got a lot of love to give, which is obvious in your actions towards your family,